Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. Super excited today. We've reached an awesome milestone. We have completed our Lego Santa Fe train. I was looking back, I actually started collecting these different train cars and the locomotive almost 3 years ago. And we've now reached the point where we've built every single car and we've actually got one duplicate car. Love these boxes, but you can see on the top here the layout of the train. So there's the locomotive, 2 copies of 125 and 3 copies of 122. I've actually built an extra car from 125, as I mentioned. Now, I was able to pick up both of these train cars while I was at BrickCan 2025. Really happy I did start collecting this train car when I did, as it's only becoming more and more difficult to pick up copies of the set, especially ones that are in, mint or near mint condition. Always an advantage when you can get the pristine boxes. It means you're going to get a really nice sticker sheet, and the wheels in particular are super hard to find these days at a reasonable price. So super happy when I was able to find these 2 sets at BrickCan, and we've now built them. So let's take a look at each of the train cars. Really happy with the look of each train car. You'll see here for set 125, I chose to build another copy of the baggage car. This car just pops in general for me because of the fact that it's got the double doors. I think that's a cool feature of the model and definitely makes it distinct in comparison to the other train cars in the set. So this was a no-brainer for me. I jumped at the opportunity to rebuild this one. I have heard of some interesting variant cars that people have built with extra copies of the set. I'm not necessarily planning to stop at 6 cars for the train, so you never know. Maybe we will build a few more along the way, but no plans to in the short term. But, for a duplicate car, I thought this was a really nice one to go with just because of its outward appearance. Now for set 122, I chose to build the sleeping car. We already had the dining and observation cars, so the sleeping car was definitely the one to go with here. Really happy with how it turned out on the inside. There's 4 beds in there, I believe. And, overall, a really nice looking car. Like I mentioned, one of the advantages of getting new inbox versions of this set, we got nice copies of the sticker sheet, so those all turned out really well. I think they add a lot to the train cars and, just gives us a now complete looking train. Other things of note, the magnets seem to be functioning well, which is good. Wouldn't expect otherwise necessarily, but the magnets were there in good condition. Love these wheels. Super hard to get them these days, as you would kind of expect for a set that has been out of production for a while, but I think these are really cool wheel sets. So happy to be able to buy again the set in box unopened so that we were able to get those wheels and use them, because I think they not only look great, but they're an important part to the visual of the finished train. So now that we've completed the set, let's take a look at the train in its entirety. And here we have the full lineup. We've got the locomotive and all 6 train cars. Really happy with how these look and can't wait to put them through their paces on the layout. We are still in the process of getting the layout all back together post train show. But once we've got that ready to go, all we need to do at this point is motorize the locomotive, and it should be ready to start running around the layout. I've got a set of instructions that I think will be fairly straightforward, or at least I'm hoping will be fairly straightforward for getting the Santa Fe locomotive motorized. Now, taking a closer look at the locomotive itself. Oh, don't connect on there. Pull this out in front here. You will notice that I have replaced the poles here around the cab of the locomotive with the proper red ones. Now, if you remember from when we talked about this locomotive earlier, the set by default came with the dark gray ones here. So I picked up the red ones on Bricklink and swapped those in. Really like how they look. I think it goes much nicer with the coloring at this end of the locomotive here. So really happy with the look of this, and I think it's going to be an amazing looking locomotive as it's pulling all of these train cars around the layout. And like I said, hopefully it will be pretty straightforward to motorize. I have contemplated going and looking into how to make a B unit for this particular train. Might be pretty cool, but that'll be a future project. We'll think about that one, but that is one thing that I think could pair up nicely with the locomotive. So we will see on that. Now, when it comes to the remaining train cars here, love all of them, but I do still have to say that after having built every one, the observation car still stands out as a personal favorite for me. Love how the end of the train car looks here with the glass windows wrapping around and the shape they've managed to achieve with the end of the train car there. Always nice, I think, when you get, rounded corners like that mixed in with other sort of more square shapes on train cars. So this is definitely going to be an awesome car to have at the end of our train. And while I love all the cars, like I said, this is my personal favorite just for its general look and style. But overall, really happy with how all of these have come together. I think they're going to look awesome even when they're not in action, when they're just in a siding on display around the layout. I think they're going to be quite eye-catching and, noteworthy. And then, like I said, looking forward to getting this motorized and starting to move around the layout as well. Even with the cars all being gray, I find them very eye-catching because there's not a lot of other train cars that I have that are actually this color. So the gray, while not a sort of eye-catching color on its own, definitely does make these train cars stand out, especially in comparison to some of the other train cars. So there you have it. The Lego Santa Fe is now complete. Like I mentioned, we will be motorizing this and we'll have that soon up on the channel. Once we've got the layout put back together, this will be one of the first things that we get running on there. And, while this is the completion of the train, I definitely can see myself probably adding another few train cars to this over time. I think it'll just look, even better if we've got more train cars that the locomotive is pulling. And as I mentioned, I think it would be cool to consider adding a B unit to pair up with the locomotive there. It might be an extra little bit that would, help to distinguish and make this train even more impressive than it already is. Now, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.